Hello and welcome to my channel. As it's just over a month now since I uploaded my first course to Skillshare, I thought it would be a good time to talk about it for those of you that are maybe fancying teaching on Skillshare and for those of you that want to go along there and look at the courses. And whilst I talk about that, I'm going to be doing a drawing of a fuchsia. So this fuchsia flower I'm drawing using the Derwent precision pencil, and then I'm going to be using the sennelier travel set of paints to put over the top of it. I begin with quite a detailed drawing of the flower, looking at the curves of the petals and the way they're all curled together in that centre there. And then I do a very loose background, just dropping colours wet into each other, and then more detail on the foreground flower, as you'll see later, using some pinks and mauves. I go a little bit heavy with the purpley colours and I lift some of that out, but you'll see that as I go on. So to get back to the Skillshare now. The way the revenue works with Skillshare is that you're paid on the 16th of the month for the previous month. So for those last 2 weeks that I had in July, as I only started halfway through July, I got paid for those on the 16th of August. Now comparing that to YouTube, you get paid monthly by YouTube as well. And for one full month on YouTube, those 2 weeks that I got paid for Skillshare, I actually made 2.5 times the amount of money on Skillshare that I did on YouTube. So that's absolutely incredible really when you think of all those videos I've got up there on YouTube from the last 3 years of uploading twice a week, compared to one course on Skillshare making me 2.5 times the revenue in half the amount of time. Now it would be easy for me to say that I don't do this for the money, but of course we put an awful lot of time and effort into doing these videos, and it is good to get paid for that. I enjoy teaching beginners, I particularly enjoy building confidence in beginners, and I enjoy creating the videos, but it all takes a lot of time and you do need some revenue from that. So Skillshare is looking like it could be quite a good way of doing that compared to YouTube. But don't forget, the YouTube revenue isn't just about your advertising revenue that you get for the minutes watched. It's also about the other things that you can spin off from that, like your associate links and sending people over to your website to buy things on there, etc. So that I'm just here on this video, I'm just talking about the advertising revenue that you get. So following on from that first course, I decided to put another course out in August, and this time it was autumn trees, and again in ink and watercolour. Again, I will link that down below for those of you that are interested in that. So it's going to be very interesting, like I said, in September to see how I go on when I've got a full month's revenue and compare that to YouTube, because by that time I will have 2 courses up and over a month and a half's time of being on Skillshare. So it'll give us much more detailed picture of what's happening and whether it's going to be worthwhile or not. My plan at the moment is to do 1 a month on Skillshare, but I may increase that if I do get the time. Those of you that subscribe to my channel and visit me regularly will know that I'm actually based on a farm. I'm a farmer's wife, and at the moment we're very short staffed, so I'm helping out with things like feeding the calves and things, so it actually takes me quite a chunk out of my day. So I may not necessarily get the time to do more of these Skillshare videos at the moment, but I would like to do 1 a month, and I will increase that if it becomes worthwhile me doing that and putting the time aside for that away from my own work and my own painting. Because whilst we're talking about revenue from your art and from teaching online and things, the biggest chunk of my revenue actually comes from selling my own work. So I sell my work on a website called Art Finder, and obviously I also sell my work offline near home and from my studio. So that still remains my biggest source of revenue, is selling my own artwork. So really that's where I need to put my time. But as we carry on, I probably may even decrease the amount of YouTube videos I do if it's more worthwhile doing them on Skillshare. But you don't want all your eggs in one basket, so that's why I have a few different sources of revenue. As with all things, Skillshare will become quicker and easier to do as I go along, because the more you do videos, the more you get used to the software, you get used to the website and everything else, it becomes quicker to do. So I found uploading the second one a lot quicker than uploading the first one, because I'm used to how things work now on Skillshare, and it actually works quite well. They can be a little bit slow to upload if they're big files, so I would recommend keeping your classes into quite small lengths of time. Watch some of the ones that were sort of over 10 minutes did take quite a long time to upload compared to YouTube, which upload really quickly. So it was nothing to do with my broadband speed, it was to do obviously with the bandwidth of their website, and it took quite a long time to upload, and it did time out occasionally. So if you're patient with that and you just leave it uploading and go off and do something else, that's absolutely fine. Other than that, the website is really easy to use for uploading and editing. So far, although I've only been on there just over a month, I really would recommend Skillshare for teachers, and as far as reviewing it goes, yes, it's great, I would use it definitely again. So as we've got a few more minutes left before I finish painting this fuchsia, I just thought I'd talk a little bit more about other revenue streams I've got online. So I mentioned YouTube and the Amazon associate links. Now I don't actually make as much money on the Amazon associate links as I do on Amazon merch. That's actually one of my biggest revenues after YouTube. So the Amazon merch is basically just designing t-shirts. So for any of you that are interested in that, that is something I would recommend. My other online revenue sources is Redbubble. Again, that's something that works quite well for me, and it's quite a steady little income. But as I said, by far the biggest revenue that I have online is from selling my own work, and I do that on my own website, but also on a website called Art Finder. So I was a little bit unsure about doing this video today, whether you'd be interested in my revenue sources and how my business works. If you want me to do more videos like this, if it's something that does interest you, please let me know, and I will hopefully get on and go perhaps into a little bit more detail into some of these different things that I do online. But merch is definitely well worth a try, as is Skillshare so far, and I will come back in another month or so, perhaps coming up to Christmas as well. It may get busier, I don't know, because obviously YouTube gets busier coming up to Christmas. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Skillshare. I would think in September people are thinking about learning, so maybe you'll get more views then. I've talked about a few different things today, and I might not have gone into as much depth as you would like to, or I might have skipped over things. So if there's anything you want to ask, please do so below in the comments. That can be about the fuchsia painting that I've done and the drawing of it, and also anything else that I've talked about today. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget you can subscribe below, and there is a bell there if you want to get notifications of when my next videos are out. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.